Hey, and welcome back to the I'm Number 4 series that I'm about to read. Previously I read the prologue, so if you haven't seen that one, go check that one out first before you come to this video. And if you are new here, go down, click the subscribe button, as well as turn on post notifications to get every latest update I have. And let's begin. In the beginning, there were 9 of us. We left when we were young, almost too young to remember, almost. I am told the ground shook, that the skies were full of light and explosions. We were in that 2-week period of the year when both moons hang on opposite sides of the horizon. It was a time of celebration, and the explosions were at first mistaken for fireworks. They were not. It was warm. A soft wind blew in from off the water. I am always told the weather, it was warm. There was a soft wind. I never understood why that matters. What I remember most vividly is the way my grandmother looked that day. She was frantic and sad. There were tears in her eyes. My grandfather stood just over her shoulder. I remember the way his glasses gathered the light from the sky. There were hugs, there were words said by each of them. I don't remember what they were. Nothing haunts me more. It took a year to get here. I was 5 when we arrived. We were to assimilate ourselves into the culture before returning to Lorraine, when it could again sustain life. The 9 of us had to scatter and go our own ways. For how long, nobody knew. We still don't. None of them know where I am, and I don't know where they are, or what they look like now. That is how we protect ourselves because of the charm that was placed upon us when we left. A charm guaranteeing that we can only be killed in order of our numbers. So as long as we stay apart, if we come together, then the charm's broken. When one of us is found and killed, a circular scar wraps around the right ankle of those still alive, and residing on our left ankle, formed when the Loric charm was first cast, is a small scar identical to the amulet each of us wears. The circular scars are another part of the charm, a warning system so that we know where we stand with each other, and so that we know when they will be coming for us next. The first scar came when I was 9 years old. It woke me up from my sleep, burning itself into my flesh. We were living in Arizona, in a small bordered town near Mexico. I woke screaming in the middle of the night, in agony, terrified as the scar seared itself into my flesh. It was the first sign that the Mogadorians had finally found us on Earth, and the first sign that we were in danger. Until the scar showed up, I had almost convinced myself that my memories were wrong, that what Henry told me was wrong. I wanted to be a normal kid living a normal life, but I knew then, beyond any doubt or discussion, that I wasn't. We moved to Minnesota the next day. The second scar came when I was 12. I was in school in Colorado, participating in a spelling bee. As soon as the pain started, I knew what was happening. What had happened to number 2. The pain was excruciating but bearable this time. I would have stayed on stage, but the heat lit my sock on fire. The teacher who was conducting the bee sprayed me with the fire extinguisher and rushed me to the hospital. The doctor in the ER found the first scar and called the police. When Henry showed, they threatened to arrest him for child abuse, but because he hadn't been anywhere near me when the second scar came, they had to let him go. We got in the car and drove away, this time to Maine. We left everything we had except for the Loric chest that Henry brought along on every move, all 21 of them to date. A third scar appeared an hour ago. I was sitting on a pontoon boat. The boat belonged to the parents of the most popular kid at my school, and unbeknownst to them, he was having a party on it. I had never been invited to any of the parties at my school before. I had always because I knew we might leave at any minute. kept to myself, but it had been quiet for 2 years. Henry hadn't seen anything in the news that might lead the Mogadorians to one of us or might alert us to them. So I made a couple of friends, and one of them introduced me to a kid who was having the party at the party. Everyone met at the dock. There were 3 coolers, some music, girls I had admired from afar but never spoken to, even though I wanted to. We pulled out from the dock and went half a mile into the Gulf of Mexico. I was sitting on the edge of the pontoon with my feet in the water, talking to a cute, dark-haired, blue-eyed girl named Tara. When I felt it coming, the water around my legs started boiling, and my lower leg started glowing where the scar was embedding itself. The third of the luring symbols, a third warning. Tara started screaming, and people started crowding around me. I knew there was no way to explain it, and I knew we would have to leave immediately. The stakes were higher now. They had found number 3, wherever he or she was, and number 3 was dead. So I calmed Tara down and kissed her on the cheek and told her it was nice to meet her and that I hoped she had a long and beautiful life. I dove off the side of the boat and started swimming underwater the entire time, except for one breath about halfway there, as fast as I could, until I reached the shore. I ran along the side of the highway, just inside the tree line, moving at speeds as fast as any cars. When I got home, Henry was at the bank of scanners and monitors that he used to research news around the world and police activity in our area. He knew without me saying a word, though he did lift my soaking pants to see the scars. In the beginning, we were a group of 9. 3 are gone, dead. There are 6 of us left. They are hunting us, and they won't stop until they've killed all of us. I am number 4. I know that I'm next. And that concurs chapter 1. So, thank you for being here. Again, if you haven't already subscribed, go down and click the button, as well as turn on post notifications so you get every chapter that I put out there. Have a good time.